Let's take our Oracle Apex workflow learning further. In our classes so far, we have seen how we can create our very first workflow, update the request in the database table, then we had assigned the task to the person, that is by making use of human task create, and then we had made use of those variables, that is to capture the outcome, task approver, email to notify, and the task ID. Then we had updated the same about the task outcome in the database table using the procedure. We have the switch activity over here, which will check the outcome whether it is approved or rejected, and based on that it will take the flow using the branch that is approved or rejected. So these are the connections which are also called as branches because one activity is having multiple branches. Now in case of rejected flow, what we will do is we will send an email notification. But before sending email notification, we will try to add a wait. So this is just for learning purpose. There is no such significance that you have to always wait before sending an email, that is a rejection email. I will provide this name. Coming to the timeout type, we can go for the expression and we can select the function which will return the 1 minute delay, that is in the response, using sysdate plus 12416. This is using the current sysdate and it is making 1 minute delay by using this method. Otherwise, we can go for the function body and here we can write the function. I have created a simple function over here. Let me copy this and we can paste it over here. We can validate. This function is also going to create a 1 minute delay using the PLSQL block. Next, what we will do is we will try to align this proper. In case of rejection, we want this to be orthogonal. Just select this connection and click on this orthogonal. It is going to create this orthogonal shaped connection. Next, what we will do is we will click on plus and we will select the send email as we are going to send the email notification. So this connection I will delete. From send email, we are going to create one connection which is going to touch the end activity. Let me see what is the name. It is the new. I will tell this as end rejected. I will tell this as end approved. You can have multiple end activities. Now here in this case, we will select this connection and we will tell end rejected, this one. From here, we have to configure now the send email activity. We have to provide the name. I will provide the name for this send email activity. Coming to the from address, you can change based on the approved sender you have configured in OCI email delivery or from your SMTP connection. Coming to the to, we have already created the variable that is with the name v email notify. This we are going to map to the to action. We can refer to the v email notify, that is this one, where we are mapping this to the input parameter using this ampersand name of the variable and the dot. See if you are getting this value in some variable, you can add it over here. Suppose if you have created the email template, you can select. In detail about email templates we had seen in the earlier classes, you can follow the same. Coming to the subject, what we can do is we can refer to this subject, that is ampersand employee ID dot. Now you might ask from where this is coming from. Suppose if you have a requirement in your project wherein you have to pull the custom data, that is from the database, then you can make use of the additional data attribute in the send email activity. If you scroll down here, it will be having a SQL query. In the case of workflow, you might not be getting all the data which is needed for sending email. You might be getting the request ID, and if you want to address the email to the person, then you may be needing the person's name. In that case, you can have a query which can fetch the person's name using the join and you can get those details. For simplicity purpose, I'm just returning the parameter names. But in your actual use case or in your project, you can create a business critical SQL query and fetch all the necessary data. Once you have written the additional data, you will be having access to employee ID, request ID. Now you may know that you can access those values over here in these attributes using the ampersand symbol. So for that purpose, I will be giving this subject. I will paste it over here. Coming to the plain text, we can provide the plain text, whatever I have written it over here, copy and paste it over here. Let me remove the spaces which are added by VS Code. This is the simple plain text email I have written, which is having just the employee ID. Suppose if you want to print the name, you can get from the additional data SQL query. So with this said, we can click on save. So this is how our validate rejection email will look like. I think the naming is not correct. We will correct the naming to notify rejection. Now in case if this email ID where we are trying to send the notification, if it is not valid, then it will end up in the email queue in the Oracle Apex. In order to check whether this email is correct or not, or if it is not null, then we can introduce one switch action. In order to add the switch condition, we have to just hover over the weight, click on plus, we can select the switch. Here what we can do is we can provide the name this time as validate rejection email. Copy and paste it over here. From here we can select the true false check. From here we can select variable value is not null. Which variable is this one, which is used in order to send the email. Here we can create couple of connections. Let me delete this connection as we don't want. From here we are going to create one connection which I will tell when it is not null. I will name this as true and I want this to go to the notify rejection. Make this as orthogonal. Next, when this is equal to null, what we will do is we will make this to go to the end. That is, when it is false, we want this to go to the end condition, that is end rejected. Click on save. So this will complete the rejection case, but in your actual use case, you will be having a complex requirement wherein you will have to update some database, send a notification, complex notification to the stakeholder and all. This is just a leave request. We are just notifying the requester that it is being rejected. In case of approved, I am doing the same. I will be checking the email ID before I am sending the email saying it is being approved. I will drop one switch action over here. And this connection, what I will do is I will make this to go to the new activity which we created just now. Here I will name this as check the validity of the approval email. Again, it will be the same case. I will name this something like this, and the condition we are using variable flow value is not null, and this is the variable which we are going to use. Next, we are having the same case. We are going to send the email notification. Let me rearrange. Select this and click on this. In case if this is equal to null, what we will do is we are going to end this. We will tell this is false, and when this is false, we want this to go to the end approved. We will make this as orthogonal. In case if this is equal to true, means the variable is not null, we are going to send the notification. I will drop over here a send email. I think this we have to change. We will create one connection and we will select when this is true. Make it to flow to the new activity. It is always a good practice in order to name your activities properly. Otherwise, you will unable to maintain your workflow if it is huge. Suppose if you are not following the proper naming convention. I am going to make this as end approved. First and the foremost thing is we will name this as notify approval. From address, I will keep default. To address, we are going to refer to the v email notify. So that is this one. CC, BCC, everything if you want, you can populate. Coming to the email template, if you have any, you can provide it over here. Next, coming to the critical data, if you want to pull additional, which is not available in the workflow, you can drop it over here, the SQL, and you can get the data using the PL SQL or the table. Next, once you have the additional data, you can access those parameters or the values in the subject as well as in the body. I'm going for the plain text. Suppose if you want to make use of the HTML, if you're good in writing HTML, or if you want to send a fancy email, you can drop the HTML body it over here. Click on save. So this completes our workflow. So this is more than enough in order to demonstrate the leave request workflow, wherein user will be initiating the workflow request. Oracle will be updating the status in the database. Then we are having a human action to approve reject. And then we are having an activity which will update the status in the database saying the outcome. Then we are having on check whether approved or rejected, based on which we can take the flow to approved or rejected flow. And then we can do some transaction like sending email notifications. Now there is this bonus tip. Suppose in case if you are wondering if anything goes wrong, like here, we had added the timeout. This is the connection which we had created. I can tell as timeout approval. Similar like this, we are having one more feature in the connection wherein we can tell this to have error handling. Here if you see, we are having a error handling as well. So we can name this something like this, and we can have error handling like sending email, updating into database, firing a notification, or updating or calling any API like procedure or even the REST API. We can do whatever we want. Now in this case, what I will do is I will put over here workflow end. So this is just for learning. I'm showing it over here. I just want to end the workflow. That is error end. I'm going to name. Now coming to this connection, if you configure this with the type as error, we are having few conditions. Here we can check whether the value of the error is this one. So this is one of the popular 404 error, which is equivalent to no data found in the database. So you can refer to Oracle documentation for more error codes. You have to access with hyphen 01043, that is for no data found. Suppose if no data is found, then we can tell this to go to the error case. Click on save. So this is how you can do error handling in any of the activities. The reference for the document which I have shown you, I have put it over here. In next class, we will see how we can complete this task definition which we had created. Now task definition we can individually test from our Oracle pages. We can either call the workflow or the task definition directly. So we will see the same in the next class.